First contact, the red dust of Proximus 7 swirled around Finn's boots as he trudged back to the research station. 3 years into his 5-year contract with Astral Resources, the isolation had become a constant companion. The setting suns cast long shadows across the rocky terrain, turning the landscape into a painting of crimson and gold. Something caught Finn's eye, small figure darting between the rock formations. Company protocol mandated reporting any unidentified life forms, but curiosity overrode his training. Following the movement, he rounded a boulder and froze. A small alien child stood before him, no taller than his waist. Their skin was a soft lavender with iridescent patterns that seemed to pulse with each breath. Large, doe-like eyes studied him with neither fear nor hostility, just pure curiosity. "Hello there," Finn said softly, crouching to appear less intimidating. The child tilted their head, then reached into a small pouch at their waist and withdrew an object. It resembled a toy, with intricate crystal components that might once have formed a beautiful mechanism, now broken and dim. "Is that for me?" Finn asked, pointing to himself. The child extended their slender arm, offering the broken toy. "Friend," the word was accented but unmistakable in Finn's native tongue. Finn's heart skipped. First contact not with diplomats or scientists, but with a child offering friendship and a broken toy. He gently accepted the gift. "Yes, friends. I'm Finn." "Tila," the child responded, tapping their chest. As the suns dipped below the horizon, Finn realized he should return to base. "I need to go," he said, gesturing toward the station. "But I'll come back tomorrow." Tila nodded, seeming to understand. Before leaving, Finn pointed to the toy. "I can fix this, I think." The child's eyes widened, the iridescent patterns brightening with excitement. Back at his quarters, Finn examined the toy under his work light. The crystalline structure contained microcircuitry unlike any human technology. With gentle hands, he began cleaning the components, discovering that several crystal segments had become misselected. The next day, Finn returned to the meeting spot, partially repaired toy in hand. Tila was waiting, accompanied by several small floating orbs that scattered when Finn approached. "Light friends," Tila explained, gesturing at the retreating orbs. Finn showed the progress he'd made on the toy. Though not fully functional, several components now glowed with a soft blue light. Tila's face lit up with joy. They spent the afternoon with Tila teaching Finn words in her language, and Finn showing Tila how to use his holographic tablet to draw. Hours passed like minutes, the barrier between their worlds thinning with each shared smile as dusk approached. Tila suddenly stiffened, looking toward the distant hills. "Go now, Nira comes." "Nira?" Finn questioned. "Guardian," Tila explained, gently pushing Finn toward the station. "Secret friend. Come tomorrow?" Finn nodded, slipping the toy into his pocket. Tomorrow, walking back, Finn felt lighter than he had in years. In this desolate place, he'd found something unexpected, a connection. Looking up at the emerging stars, he wondered about Tila's people and this mysterious guardian. For the first time since landing on this dusty planet, Finn was eager for tomorrow. The Guardians' mistrust the midday heat shimmered across the rocky landscape as Finn approached their meeting spot. The toy, now partially functioning, hummed softly in his pocket. He'd worked through the night, realigning crystal matrices and cleaning dust from the delicate circuitry. A movement caught his Enoch Tila's small form, but a taller figure observing him from behind a rock formation. When their eyes met, the stranger didn't flee. She stepped forward, her stance protective and wary. Taller than Tila, but sharing the same lavender skin and iridescent patterns, though hers flowed like water across her arms and face. Unlike Tila's childlike appearance, she carried herself with unmistakable authority. "You are the human who speaks with Tila," she stated, her voice melodic despite the accusation in her tone. "I'm Finn. You must be Nira." Her eyes narrowed. "Tila should not have revealed herself to you. Your kind brings destruction." Finn held up empty hands. "I mean no harm. Tila showed me friendship when I've been alone for years." Tila emerged from behind Nira, rushing to Finn with excited chatter. "Show Nira. Show the light." Nira placed a protective hand on Tila's shoulder. What light? Carefully, Finn withdrew the toy. Tila gave me this. It was broken. I've been trying to repair it. Nira's patterns flashed with alarm. The Lumina? You gave a human our Lumina? She asked Tila, who nodded enthusiastically. He makes it shine again. Nira reached for the toy, her fingers brushing against Finn's as she took it. The contact sent an unexpected warmth through him. Her eyes widened slightly, suggesting she felt it too. This is sacred to our people, she explained, examining his work. How did you know how to repair crystalline circuits? I'm an engineer. The technology is different, but the principles are similar. Finn pointed to the remaining dark sections. These pathways are still disconnected. I think the core needs realignment. Nira studied him, conflict evident in her expression. Our people have hidden from humans since your corporations claimed our world. Yet Tila trusts you, and you've treated our Lumina with care. The sun beat down as they stood in silence, a moment of decision hanging between them. Come, Nira finally said. If you truly wish to help, you must understand what you hold. They walked for an hour, Tila skipping ahead, occasionally returning to tug at Finn's hand. Nira maintained a careful distance, though Finn caught her watching him with growing curiosity. Your company believes our world uninhabited, she said as they climbed a ridge. We've worked hard to maintain that illusion. Why show me now? Because Tila chose you, and because the Lumina responds to you, that is unprecedented. They reached the ridge top and Finn gasped. Below, nestled in a valley, invisible from the research station, sprawled a small settlement. Structures of crystal and living material blended with the landscape, nearly imperceptible, unless you knew where to look. Our last refuge, Nira explained. Tila pulled at Finn's hand again. Come fix Lumina. Make home bright again. As they descended toward the hidden community, Nira whispered, If you betray this trust, my people will disappear forever. Looking into her eyes, Finn made his decision. I won't let that happen. For the first time, Nira's patterns shifted to a gentle blue, her posture softening slightly. It wasn't trust not yet, but it was a beginning. The hidden settlement, the alien settlement pulsed with life, unlike anything in Finn's experience. Crystal spires grew from the ground like living things, their surfaces changing colors with the movements of the inhabitants. Finn felt dozens of curious eyes watching as Nira led him through winding pathways. Our ancestors chose this valley for its mineral composition, Nira explained. The crystals shield us from detection. Inside Nira's dwelling, a space that seemed both inside and outside simultaneously. Tila bounced excitedly as Finn examined the broken toy, the Lumen under better light. The Lumen is more than a toy, Nira said, sitting beside him. It's a key component of our collective memory and culture. As she spoke, Finn noticed how her iridescent patterns shifted with her emotions, currently a blend of concern and reluctant hope. When their fingers accidentally touched over the Lumina, her patterns flashed a bright pink before she quickly composed herself. This central crystal, Finn said, pointing to the core, seems to be the power source, but it's misaligned. Nira nodded. Only keepers can fully activate a Lumina. Tila is training to become one, which is why she carried this practiced Lumina. Working together, Finn's engineering knowledge and Nira's understanding of her people's technology began to bridge gaps. As the day progressed, their initial wariness transformed into a collaborative rhythm. Finn found himself mesmerized by Nira's graceful movements and quick mind. Why did you come to our world? She asked during a break, offering him a sweet liquid in a crystal cup. To escape, Finn admitted. Earth became ... overwhelming. Too many people, too much noise. I wanted solitude. Yet you befriended a child who offered you a broken toy, Nira observed, her tone softening. Loneliness and solitude are different things, Finn replied. I never expected to find connection here. Their eyes met, holding for a moment too long before both looked away. Later, Nira showed Finn their hydroponics gardens, where crystal-enhanced plants grew food for the community. Before your kind came, we lived across the planet. Now, we survive here, hidden. I'm sorry, Finn said, genuinely pained by their situation. Astral Resources believes this planet is uninhabited. Would they leave if they knew otherwise? Nira asked. Finn couldn't answer honestly. Corporate interests rarely yielded to ethical considerations. As evening approached, they returned to the Lumina. Working side by side, their shoulders occasionally touching, Finn guided the final crystal into alignment, while Nira channeled energy through her fingertips. Suddenly, the Lumina illuminated fully, projecting a three-dimensional scene above it, a landscape of crystal forests and flowing waters that no longer existed. Tila clapped with delight. Home story. Home story. Nira's patterns shifted to deep blue. Our ancestral lands, she whispered. Before the mining began, the intimacy of the moment. Nira sharing her people's lost history wasn't lost on Finn, nor was the way her hand lingered near his, their fingers almost touching as they watched the projection together. I should return before I missed, Finn said reluctantly as the moons rose. You'll come back? Nira asked, her voice carefully neutral though her patterns betrayed her concern. I promise, Finn replied, surprised by how much he meant it. As he turned to leave, Tila hugged his legs tightly. More surprising was Nira's light touch on his arm. Thank you for bringing light back to us, she said quietly, walking back to the station under twin moons. Finn realized his heart had remained behind in the hidden settlement. With the people who had every reason to mistrust him, but had shown him their world anyway? Impending threat, Finn stared at his terminal screen, reading the message 3 times to ensure he hadn't misunderstood. Astral Resources was accelerating their mining timeline, expanding operations into the valley region directly where the hidden settlement lay. Geological surveys had detected unusual mineral formations that promised rich harvests of rare elements. His supervisor's voice blared over the intercom. Matheson, we need those terrain reports before the survey drones launch tomorrow. Understood, Finn replied, his mind racing. The drones would discover the settlement immediately. That night, he slipped away from the station with a pack of supplies and a data tablet containing the mining plans. The urgency of his mission gave speed to his steps as he navigated the familiar path in darkness. Nira was waiting at the ridge, as if she'd sensed his approach. Her patterns pulsed with anxiety when she saw his expression. What's happened? She asked. Your people are in danger, Finn explained, showing her the mining plans. The company is sending drones tomorrow. They'll find your settlement. Nira's patterns darkened to deep purple. Then we must evacuate again. Inside the settlement, he gathered the community elders in a crystal chamber where the repaired Lumina sat on a central pedestal. Tila huddled against Nira's side as Finn explained the situation. How much time do we have? Asked an elder named Jorith. Hours, not days, Finn answered. But I have an idea. He outlined his plan to sabotage the drone launch and corrupt the geological data. His eyes kept returning to Nira. The thought of her people being displaced again, of possibly never seeing her after tonight, created an ache he couldn't ignore. It won't work, Nira interjected. Even if you delay the drones, they'll eventually come. Tila suddenly brightened. The Lumina. Show them the big light. All eyes turned to the child, then to the Lumina glowing softly on its pedestal. The fully activated Lumina network could generate enough electromagnetic interference to render this valley invisible to scanning technology. Jorith said thoughtfully. But our remaining Luminas aren't sufficient, another elder objected. We lost too many in the last migration. During the debate, Finn studied the Lumina structure more closely. What if we amplify the signal? He suggested. If I could link your crystal technology to the station's communication array. The discussion continued deep into the night, technical possibilities merging with the aliens' crystal knowledge. As plans solidified, Nira pulled Finn aside into a small chamber filled with bioluminescent plants. You risk everything helping us, she said softly. Why? Finn touched her cheek gently, surprised by his own boldness. Because you matter to me. All of you, but ... double quotes. He hesitated. Especially you. Nera's patterns rippled with vibrant colors he hadn't seen before. She stepped closer, her hand finding his. Among my people, patterns speak what words cannot. Can you see what mine are saying now? Finn felt her other hand guide his to the luminescent patterns on her skin. Under his touch, they brightened and pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. I think I understand, he whispered. Their lips met softly, tentatively, bridging more than just physical difference. For a moment, the impending crisis faded into background. When they separated, Nera's expression was both tender and resolute. Now we must save my people, our people, if you choose it. As dawn approached, they finalized their plan. Finn would return to the station to delay the drones while the community prepared the Lumina network. Tila insisted on giving Finn her repaired Lumina. Call us, she explained, standing at the settlement's edge as morning light crept over the horizon. Finn held Nera's hands tightly. I'll come back, he promised. You better, she responded, her patterns conveying what words couldn't. A new beginning. Finn raced through the research station corridors, the Lumina concealed in his pocket. His fingers flew across terminal keyboards, introducing subtle errors into the drone programming while appearing to prepare them for launch. Matheson, what's the delay? His supervisor demanded over the com. Calibration issues, Finn replied, continuing his sabotage. The atmospheric conditions are causing interference. He'd bought a few hours at most. The real solution waited in the valley. When darkness fell, Finn slipped away again, this time taking components from the communications array. His absence would be noticed soon, marking him as a deserter or worse. The settlement was transformed when he arrived. The entire community had arranged crystal amplifiers in a precise geometric pattern. With the remaining luminous positioned at key intersections, Tila ran to him immediately, hugging his legs. You came back, she exclaimed. Of course, Finn replied, ruffling her hair. I promised. Nera approached, her patterns reflecting both relief and concern. Did you succeed? Partially. We have until morning. He showed her the components he'd brought. These should complete the amplification circuit. They worked through the night, the entire community contributing. Children carried messages between work groups. Elders channeled energy through the growing crystal network, and Nera coordinated it all with determined efficiency. Finn marveled at their unity of purpose. In quiet moments, Nera's hand would find his, her patterns briefly flashing that now familiar pink he'd come to recognize as affection. No words were needed. Near dawn, they completed the final connections. The network of luminas began to glow, creating webs of light between them. Finn placed Tila's Lumina at the center, the final piece. Now we need a keeper to activate the network, Jorth explained. All eyes turned to Tila, but she's still in training. Nera objected protectively. She has the strongest connection to the central Lumina, Jorth countered. And she has something no keeper before her had a bridge between our worlds. He nodded toward Finn. Tela stood straighter, determination replacing fear on her small face. I can do it. Nera knelt beside her. You don't have to. I want to, Tila insisted. For home, the little girl took position at the center of the array, placing her hands on the Lumina. Finn and Nera stood on either side of her, their hands joined behind her back. Channel your energy through her, Jorth instructed Finn. Your connection to the Lumina is unique. Use it. Finn closed his eyes, focusing on the energy he felt flowing from Nera through him into Tila. The Lumina began to pulse, its light spreading through the network. Crystal spires throughout the settlement illuminated in response, creating a dome of energy that rippled upward. Above them, sky seemed to waver and shift as the electromagnetic shield formed. Monitoring devices showed the valley disappearing from scanning technology. When it was done, Tila slumped back, exhausted but triumphant. Nera caught her, cradling the child against her chest. You did it, she whispered. Our brave little keeper. Hours later, at the settlement's edge, Finn watched a holographic projection showing Astral's drones passing directly over the valley, their sensors registering nothing but barren terrain. It worked. He breathed. Nera's hand slipped into his. What happens now? Your company will notice your absence. Finn turned to her, his decision made long ago. I'll send a resignation, citing psychological reasons. They'll replace me without question, and then, he said, drawing her closer, I help your people rebuild. We create a sustainable boundary. Perhaps one day, when both sides are ready, we bridge our worlds properly. Tila joined them, still tired but beaming with pride. She took both their hands, forming a circle. Family now? She asked hopefully. Nira's patterns rippled with emotion as she looked at Finn questioningly. Yes, he answered, his heart fuller than he'd ever thought possible. Family now. As the suns set on the hidden valley, Finn realized that the lonely engineer who had sought solitude had found something infinitely more precious belonging. It had all begun with a brave little alien offering him a broken toy and a simple question. Will you be my friend, human? Looking at Nira, whose patterns now danced with joy against her skin, and at Tila, who had bridged their worlds, Finn knew he had found his answer.